Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Brewing Business Show. This is a space dedicated to the craft beer industry and entrepreneurs who wants to learn more about mindset, health, wealth, business, and of course, beer. I'm your host, Pedro Meneses, and before we start, I just want to make sure you buckle up, crack open a cold one, and get ready to hear some life-changing information. Cheers. So welcome back everybody to episode 36 of the Brewing Business Show. If this is your first time, be sure to check out the previous episodes and don't forget to leave me that review on iTunes so you can help more people to find the show. Guys, I hope you're ready because today's episode is going to transform your life. Our guest today is someone who not only has inspired and coached thousands of people, but also he's one of the most resilient and prolific leaders in the entrepreneur world. His motto, fuck your excuses, has taken to provide that you can become anything you want if you put in the work and commit to yourself to change your life. And today, he's here to inspire us, to challenge our beliefs, and give us the code to become the most elite version of ourselves. So welcome to the show, Ryan. It's a pleasure to have you here, brother.
Hey, what's up, man? You know, it's quite an accomplishment. So how often do you do these podcasts? Once a week?
Once a week. This is
so
my
you got
36
episodes, right? So you've almost got a whole entire year. Let me ask you, do you know how many episodes an average podcaster puts out?
Not really.
4. Fucking 4. After 4, the average motherfucker quits. They stop. So think right now you're doing, what is that, 9 times, 8 times, somewhere in there. My math's not that good. But you've already done within a year 8 times what the average person does. And here's the thing most people don't understand, man. The more of these you do, the more you show up in different places, the more people have access to different episodes that come up and everything else, man. And it really builds. So that should feel really good, man, that you've got 36 weeks of doing this consistently under your belt, knowing that the average ass person quits at 4.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate that, And it's fun to do this stuff. And I have learned so much for the past 36 weeks. It is incredible how you start becoming better in other stuff too, just by doing this podcast, and how people have changed lives too, how people have reached out to me and said, thank you for the different episodes that we have. And like, through these podcasts, I try to help the craft beer industry too, which is an industry that is very far away from all this entrepreneurship and mindset and all that kind of stuff, And I know with you, we can literally make 3 episodes and still not cover all the shit that like we can make a whole episode just in your life and then talk about sales and all that stuff. But man, I think we are in a very serious season right now, and I think people need to understand where change starts in our lives, and that's in our mindset. So I really want to go through all that a little bit, but maybe just in a very couple minutes, just tell us a little about who you are so people can get to know you a little bit more, man. I know it can take an hour, but just give us the short version.
Yeah. I'm not going to be that guy. But for those of you who don't know me, I've lived in Dallas, Texas my entire life. Although I do travel out of here a lot. I'm not one of those guys that never leaves their hometown ever. Seems like I'm on a plane every other day lately anyway. And for the majority of the last 5 years, I own a company called Break Free Academy, and we are consultants and networking professionals. And what we do is we put high-level people together so that they can do business and do life together. And in the process, we help people become focused on having the right mindset and becoming a better physical specimen with their genetics, and getting around the right group of people, and working hard on the things that they should be working on. I've been doing this for 10 years now. It's crazy that it's been that long.
Wow.
Prior to that, I was in the mortgage business. So I was a successful mortgage professional, and then I started training mortgage people and then ultimately businesses. So I've been doing this for a long time. I was one of the first people that I knew of for sure to adopt into social media and making money and sales from there. I've written a bunch of books, created a bunch of programs, built a bunch of other businesses too that we won't go into. But the bottom line is, my life's mission is to help leaders reach their full potential. And, I do that through these podcasts and the things that I give back. Although we build business people up, we're really creating leaders, right? And in order to have a good business with a lot of employees and stuff, you need to be a leader. And so that's what I do, man, and I love every minute of it. My life is great. I'm married with 3 kids. And live in Dallas, Texas, and have an office in Dallas. And so it's not a far drive to work or anything. I've got a great network of friends and celebrities and professional athletes and stuff. So it's a great job to have. That's for sure.
Absolutely, man. But, for those who don't just start to know who you are, man, right now. I mean, it's not always been that way for you, right? You got to a point where you had to change your life. And I think something that we all have done. I mean, as a matter of fact, when I decided to start in my entrepreneur journey, I don't know if you know this, but I found you in 2015 when I decided to start doing my own shit and all that stuff. And you're pretty much my first mentor, you know? And I think most of the things that I know is because of you and all your programs and being part of Apex and all that kind of stuff. So I'm grateful for that, you know? And that's why I wanted to have you here, because it is important for me to share this with others, you know, like what you have been able to teach me, what I have been able to learn from you, and all the lessons that you have given me and my wife too, you know, that is part of Apex. But I know the mindset is the most important thing, because it hasn't always been that way for you, right? It's not like a lot of people think, oh yeah, this guy is successful, he drives a Lambo and he have 1 million followers and all that shit, but it hasn't been that way all the time, right? Tell us a little bit more where you come from.
I started with anything but a head start. You know, when I was 7 years old, I was adopted by my stepfather. So I changed my name and all this stuff, man. It made shit really awkward at school. And so we moved around a lot, and every couple of years, you know, and I didn't graduate high school. Like most people who don't have a father, get adopted, don't graduate high school. I got into drugs and ultimately realized my first business opportunity wasn't, you know, a bar or a multi-level marketing opportunity or anything like that. It was like, hey man, you want to sell some dope? I don't know. How much does it pay? It pays better than anything else around here. All right, well, let's talk business. Right. And obviously got in some trouble for that, and went and did some time for that, and different prisons, which was really uncomfortable. So, you know, here I am, this person that's got a pretty solid life and got a pretty solid mindset and vision and clarity for my future and everything. It wasn't always that way, but you know, there's nothing I would change about it though. That's where so many people get stuck, I believe. They wish they could go back and change the past, but really the only option we have is to be able to change the future. And so if you're concentrating and focusing on trying to change your past, maybe you made a mistake, maybe you did something else. God knows I've made my fair share as well. It's already happened though. There's no undoing that action. It's what you focus on doing in the present that's going to lead to the future that you want. So despite the fact that I don't have a high school diploma, despite the fact that I was homeless and had a drug problem and went to prison and all these other things, like I can't go back and change any of that, nor would I want to, because the experiences that I gained from those rock bottom moments in my life changed my outlook for my future. I didn't have a dad. So guess what? If you ask any of my 3 sons who their fucking hero is, you know they're going to say dad. My kids are watching the Hulk the other day and they're like, yeah, but dad could probably whoop them. Dude, I'm not even a fighter, but that's how much they believe in me. You know,
that's awesome.
Like, you know, and I always want to be the dad that I never had. So I'm imparting into them. You know, my wife, the same way. She's the only person besides my kids that's ever shown me anything remotely close to unconditional love in my life, man. So I nurtured that relationship before I got here today. My wife and I, we walked like 2.5 miles on a trail, just holding hands, shooting the shit. You know, no phones, no weird stuff, just like being a couple at 10 a.m. in the morning, you know, but I love my wife the same at 10 as I do at 10 p.m. after a few shots of tequila. I love her still stone cold sober at 10 in the morning too, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I had to go through these struggles in order to appreciate the things that I have now. Last night, there was a car accident here in Plano, Texas. And the kid was 17 years old, and he was driving a $2.8 million Pagani Huayra.
Shit.
I don't know what he did to crash or that side of the story. However, I don't drive a $2 million car, but I paid like 70 grand for my truck. And I've never been in a car accident. Here's the reason why I've never been in a car accident, because I don't want to fuck my shit up, because I worked hard for that money.
Yeah.
Right. So here's what I'm saying. This is where so many people's mindset is reversed. They think life being hard, oh, poor me. But really, life being hard means it's trying to toughen you up and harden you up so you'll appreciate the things that you get in the future. The fact that I don't have a dad makes me appreciate being a dad. The fact that I didn't have a good mom makes me appreciate my wife. as a mom. The fact that I've been cheated on and had my heart broken in the past makes me appreciate my wife that much more. The fact that I've failed in business makes me appreciate the partners and the team that I have right now. The fact that anywhere that I've failed, the fact that I failed the country and was convicted of firearms trafficking and drug dealing and shit like that. The fact that I failed, that I learned lessons from that makes me better now. I know I don't want to fucking go back there. Right. And now I know the law a little bit better, so I can abide by it. Right. Which really keeps me being a quote unquote free man. Right. So here's the thing. So many people wish they could change something. But the thing is, it was put in your life by God to be a lesson for you. And by God, you need to learn the lesson. And until you learn the lesson, that's why so many of you keep repeating the same cycle over and over. You go back to the cheating boyfriend, then the cheating girlfriend, then the cheating boyfriend, the cheating girlfriend. You go job opportunity, jump from this job to that job, from this job to that job. Oh, this one isn't working. Oh, the leads are bad here. And you go through this business partnership, this relationship. You wonder why you keep repeating it. It's because you never learned the lesson that the world's trying to give you. Yeah. And until you learn that lesson and stop trying to do something new to avoid the struggle, it's going to be there. Until you learn that lesson, you're never going to get on the other side of life, which is wisdom.
Wow.
Experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's so powerful. And it's funny that you said that, because we were just talking with Kayla about some stuff that you just mentioned right now, and how God is going to bless whatever you decide to embrace and go through, like if God is putting you a fucking problem in front of you, like if you don't decide to go through that, he's not going to give you his blessing, because it's there for a reason. Like you said, to make you stronger, to make you better, whatever it is that you do, to make you a better business owner or husband or whatever the fuck it is they want to be better at. Right.
Yeah. And so many people that, like, again, they don't learn that lesson. And so they keep repeating it. And the truth is, they wonder why they're in the struggles, because they keep choosing to ignore the lesson. When I was sitting in prison, I was like, man, fuck, I was completely innocent. And here I am inside of prison. I went twice, and the second time I was completely innocent. And here I'm sitting in there, and I'm like, man, what is obviously I'm here for a reason. What's the lesson I'm supposed to learn? You know what I figured out in there? I had a knack for speaking and training and teaching. Who knew? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I would have never ever guessed that. But before I went in, and this is an important lesson too, before I went in, I told my girlfriend at the time, I said, man, I think I want to be like a motivational speaker. And this is before social media and all this. I'm old, right? So this was like, back in the day. And I was like, man, I think that's what I want to do. I want to write a book and maybe get a website. I mean, this was 2004, right? Wow. So then I go to prison, and I'm in there and I'm stuck, and I'm like, you know what? You know who probably like to hear some motivational shit? Inmates. Right? You know who would probably like to learn some of this financial shit I've seen at seminars? Drug dealers, right? So what do they got to lose? It ain't like they got other shit to do. They can make fun of me, or maybe they can get something from it, right? And I got an opportunity to go in there and change some people's lives. And the way that I look at it is, I went in there with the lesson. I got to practice on a crowd that I don't care about, right? Like they're not people that are going to follow me to the outside. I got to practice on a crowd that I don't care about. I got good at my craft. Right. I wrote things down. I read a bunch of books. I got a shitload of knowledge and experience from the thousands of books that I read while I was in there. And I came out smarter, wiser, and more efficiently operating in my life. Right. I took that time and said, okay, guess what happened in the outside world during the time that I was in there?
What?
Economic turmoil. The mortgage market crashed. That's what I did for a living, and the mortgage market crashed. And so while my friends are literally committing suicide and jumping off of buildings and getting their houses foreclosed on, I'd already sold all my shit because I was in fucking prison.
Right.
So I'm just, it was like I was in a cocoon. It's like, hey, man, you ain't got to stress about all that shit. You ain't got a house payment. You ain't got a car payment. You don't owe no credit card debt. You ain't making any money, so you ain't got any taxes to worry about. And I'm just sitting in there getting 3 hots in a cot, right? Going, well, shit, man, I might as well learn something while I'm here. Absolutely. And the world's falling apart on the outside. And guess what? When I got out, I was in the same results as people that suffered the whole way down, except for I didn't have the anxiety and all that shit inside of me that they did, because I was in there just cool as a cucumber, learning and teaching and working my craft, Right.
Absolutely. That sounds like, when you're in those times in those seasons in life where you don't have options, but whatever you have, you start working with it quiet, like silently you keep working and preparing yourself and just getting better just to wait for that right moment for you to just blow it up and start generating money and start fucking being successful and start climbing the ladder, man. That's amazing,
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, again, they let a setback be a holdback. There's a big difference between a setback. A setback is temporary. A holdback, man, is something that could be a lifetime, right? But you're letting these setbacks hold you back, man. These setbacks are lessons. Look, I've mentored and coached and whatever you want to call it, 20,000 plus people. And so I've had a lot of conversations in the 15 years that I've been in management, leadership, coaching, all this stuff, right? Because it started in the mortgage world too. I was working in seminars back then. And here's what I can tell you, you know, nobody's perfect. We're all fucked up.
No.
We all got something that we're embarrassed of in the past. We've all got some stupid mistake that's still haunting us today that we made. We've all had our heart broken. We've all made mistakes. Like, none of us are perfect. And so, but the weird thing about human beings is, for some reason, we're programmed to pretend that we got it all figured out and that we're perfect. And I think that was for like children's sake, but now they just, like, you know, when I asked my mom, hey, where do rainbows come from? She's like, God created it. Now you can clearly see that's part of the water cycle because of Google, right? And so, which I'm not debating, did God create it or not? If everything was created for God, he obviously created it, but that's not why it's there. It wasn't like, oh, I think I shall draw this for Ryan today. That's not why it was there, right? So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so it's different, but, you know, none of us being perfect should mean that you're on the same level playing field as anybody.
Yeah.
You're on the same level playing field as anybody because they've all made mistakes. Everybody's made mistakes, from Jeff Bezos to Bill Gates to Warren Buffett to Elon Musk. They've all made mistakes, you know, and they've just decided to focus on the future and where they're going and not what happened in the past and where they've been. That's all.
Totally, man. You know, you just remind me right now that, because the same year that I found you on YouTube and started watching all these sales videos and all that stuff, that was the same year that actually all my entire shit expired here in the US. So I became illegal, you know, and I couldn't do shit for a couple of years, almost for 4 years. I couldn't do much, you know, so I had to deal with whatever I had in that time. But I remember that during that period, I was just keep learning and got the elevator to the top book, and that helped me a lot with the sales job that I had and all that stuff. But I didn't miss the opportunity because other people is like, oh fuck, man, I don't have papers, I'm screwed, you know, I'm just gonna get a shitty job and see, hopefully one day God is gonna help me. That was not my case, you know. I was like, I need to fucking do something about it, you know. And thank God later down the road he's sent me a great wife, you know, and now we work together, we hustle our ass together, and now we're building our shit together, you know. So, but I wouldn't be in this position if I wouldn't prepare myself during that period. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You know, so many people let a circumstance fold them, right? Like this year, you know, COVID fucked a lot of people's stuff up, man. But there was two types of people that came out of this. And I say out of it, hell, for all I know, we're going back into it, but you get the point. There's two types of people. The person A that says, oh shit, this is the end of my business, I better tighten up my resume, I don't know what I'm going to do, right? Yeah. And then you got the other types like, oh shit, okay, so this is how it's coming, these businesses are essential, well, we're going to move over into, dude, I have friends that were in the vitamin pharmaceutical companies, right? But they have these presses and bottles and jars and all this shit. As soon as this hit, they knew motherfuckers weren't buying, you know, plants and pills and potions and lotions and shit. So what did they do? They started filling all those containers with hand sanitizer and selling the shitload out of hand sanitizer all over Amazon, all over e-com, getting it in 7-Eleven stores. Again, they could have said, oh man, this is the end. Nobody's going to be buying protein powder at $80 a bottle right now with the fucking economy tanking. We are doomed. No, my friend said, hey man, what are people still buying right now that we can put in these little fucking tubs we got?
Right. No, that's
totally the difference. So many people want to play, but here's the reward, the trophy that people get when they say, oh man, nobody's buying my protein, I guess we'll just shut down and I'll go get a real job. This entrepreneurship in for me. The trophy they get is a pity story the rest of their life, because they can go back to average ass people or below average ass people and go, oh, I failed, and everybody go, oh yeah, we're all failures, let's all be failures together. They're just speaking that over each other, right? That's the trophy they get in life, sympathy, we'll call it, right? Whereas the other guy, the trophy he gets in life is he gets to go and pick who he wants or she wants to marry. They get to pick whatever the hell they want to drive. They get to pick wherever the hell they want to live. They get to pick wherever the hell they want to go, right? Because he's decided that, or she has decided that, hey, you know what? This isn't the end of my business. I'm going to fill this shit up with sanitizer. And guess what? There's a hell of a lot more demand this year for hand sanitizer than there was protein. So guess who came out a winner?
Absolutely.
And nothing I just said was genius level shit. Nothing I just said was like, he figured out that radioactive isotopes inside the isosceles triangle. Like, no, it wasn't any of that shit,
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely, man. And you know, it's funny because 2020 has just shown everything that you just said, you know, like especially right now and during this month, now we're seeing who's winning and who's losing in life right now, you know. But you know, just to switch gears a little bit, because I know it's true, you have to decide to make excuses or not, right? But I know that those who behind all that, you need to have the right mentality, be surrounded by the right people, like being part of a network like Apex. That is some of the things that have helped me, my wife, and so many other members, right? And people that you have helped. But I know that there's people right now that they're like, you know, the process. They're like they want to get into a network. They always have to think about it and all that kind of shit, but they're ready to start moving forward. And I know that you created a code to help people get to that, right? So why don't you talk to us a little about the G code, man? Because that is something that have helped me and have helped thousands of people right now get through this year. And whatever the fuck happens in the next 4 years with everything that is going on right now, I think it's a very simple code that you can share here with us. Like people can download your app or join your group or something, so that also they can get that help and change their minds, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so to me, I feel like there's an algorithm running this planet, for lack of a better word. And it's the algorithm that wants to keep you average. I call it the force of average. And what the force of average is doing is, let's say that you like meet the chick, the girl of your dreams. And then you end up like getting drunk and cheating on her with like her unattractive best friend, you know, and you're like ruin that relationship. Or let's say that, you know, you start like we look at a movie like The Wolf of Wall Street. Jordan Belfort starts making $50 million a year, develops a serious drug and prostitute habit, right? That's an extreme case, obviously, because of the amount of wealth in that movie. But that's what happens to all of us, right? We get one area of our life up and firing and good, and something catastrophic happens somewhere else. I couldn't tell you the amount of people who go on to make millions of dollars and then get a divorce, right? That I've known in my lifetime, right? Or the amount of people who build a huge business and then it go bankrupt because a business partner got greedy or a wife or husband divorced them or whatever the case, right? Seen it happen, right? And so the force of average is designed to keep us average, because if we stay as average people, the economy works right, the world works right? Like everybody's created, it's this utopian idea. But the problem is, we weren't created by God to be average. Like when God created man, he wasn't like, look, I'm just gonna see what this thing is, you know. No, they say he knows the numbers of hair on our head, right? We have a divine fingerprint, right? Our unique fingerprint. We have all these differentiating things from us. We have language, we can communicate, we can talk, we can build things nothing else on this planet can do, right? You think they create whatever, whether you believe in God or not, do you think whatever created us was like, yeah, these are just average things?
Yeah.
No, they would have stopped at dogs. They would have stopped at dogs if they wanted average shit, right? We were created to build, be fruitful, and multiply. And what people don't understand about being fruitful is a lot of times they think, you know, being fruitful and multiply means, you know, being love and kind and having kids, right? No, being fruitful, let me tell you what the fruit that human beings produce is. It's money. Okay? The parents say money don't grow on trees. No. You're wrong. They're wrong. You're a tree and money grows from you. You say, well, what do you mean money grows from me? Hey, you go do work. What do you produce? Money in the bank account. Hey, you go sell something. What do you produce? Money in the bank account. You go buy a house and flip it. What do you produce? Money in the bank account, right? So what do we produce as humans, right? We produce money. Now, some of us might produce, let's say we're farmers. We might produce corn, but we're producing that corn for fucking money. Absolutely. Can't live on corn alone, you know? Yeah. We're producing, let's say that you say, oh, well, you know what? I produce hand sanitizer. You're producing hand sanitizer to sell it for money, right? Just like a tree will develop sap on it so that it attracts insects, so that the insects go and put the freaking seed somewhere else, man. We're all the same. So when people say be fruitful and multiply, that means to make money, and then not just multiply the money, but multiply you as in having children and growing a lineage and creating a legacy for yourself, which is a hell of a lot easier with money than without money. And then also multiplying your finances, multiplying, you should be healthier than your parents, right? Like your parents at 50 years old, you should look like your parents did at 30 years old. You should be healthier than your parents, right? Like a lot of people in my family of origin, they don't work out. They're out of shape. I'm in the gym twice a day. I'm doing 2-a-day workouts. I've been doing 2-a-day workouts for like 85 days at this point. And the reason why I say that is because you know what? I don't want to be like them. I want to be better than them. And I want my kids to be better than me.
Absolutely.
But so what people don't understand is that if it's really easy to get you to become average, because really you're at war with the force of average. And if you're going to go to war with something, you first of all have to identify the enemy. I've already told you that's the force of average. But the second thing that you have to do is identify its weapon of choice. And the weapon of choice for the force of average, and really its only weapon, is distraction. And it starts subliminally programming you that you're easily distracted at a young age. Your teachers say you can't pay attention. Your parents say you got ADD, or whatever the case may be. Right?
All that bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And so you start to buy into it. Just like depending on what news channel you watch, you start to buy into that shit too. Right? Repetition creates familiarity, and that's when we start to buy into shit. Dude, I'm a sales master. I know how to do all this shit, right? Whether ethically or not, I know how to do it all. And so here's the thing. You start to buy into it. You buy in that you're easily distracted. I'm not a numbers person. Oh, I'm not a details person. Right? People say it all the time. Oh, I'm so scatterbrained. Oh, I had an ADD moment. Right? People are they're bought into it so much, they're reassuring their subconscious that what they're thinking about is right as well.
Totally.
So that it's weaponized and it is attacking you. Like, just alone, the average American sees 4,000 advertisements a day. Okay? Just the average American, 4,000. That's not even a fraction of the decisions that you make every day. It's like 32,000 or some ridiculous number last time I looked it up. It's a ridiculous number in the 30,000s. That's all
that's crazy, man. Yeah.
Every day. Right? And we wonder why our reticular activating system is always worn out. At the end of the day, you're like, shit, man, I just sat behind a computer all day and my head is killing me. It's because you made 32,000 decisions. Right?
Yeah.
So if we know that it's trying to distract us 32,000 times a day, and that's a pretty powerful weapon to be attacked with, 32,000. If we threw 32,000 missiles at Iraq, the war would have been over in 5 seconds.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
We throw 32,000 missiles anywhere, it's over in 5 seconds. But that's what the force of average is doing to you every single day. So what do you have? Guess what? God created us with a weapon to fight it. And we've got a superpower within us that can fight it. The problem is, with most people, that superpower is extremely weak. It's like a muscle that hadn't been to the gym in a long time. It's like a bicep that hadn't done a curl in years, man, maybe decades for some of you. But that superpower is focus. And it doesn't take Adderall to get focused. It doesn't take Ativan to get focused, or any of those other limitless type of pill situations. It takes practice, discipline, and repetition, just like working out in the gym. Like, if you want to go to the gym, if you want to look like my friend Steve Kuklo, you got to be your ass in the gym 2 hours a day and eat 7,000 fucking calories a day. If you want to look like him, that's what it takes to get there, right? So if you want to be an unstoppable person, you have to be focused. My friend Steve, to go back to him, he's focused on looking the way that he looks. He's one of the top 3 bodybuilding competitors in the world alive right now, right? And the reason why is because he is committed and focused on winning that shit, right? And he's going to. And the reason why I say that is we've all been in the zone, so we know we can focus. You know, one time the teachers at my kid's school told me, well, he doesn't focus in class. I think he doesn't know how to focus. I said, I once seen him watch TV for 3 hours without getting up to piss. He can focus. Maybe you're not entertaining them. Maybe you need to be a better teacher. Right? I don't have people that are not focused when I'm teaching. I'm teaching a room full of ADD entrepreneurs with smartphones in their hand, and I get people's attention, right? Maybe you want to practice your craft a little bit, lady. I'm paying you big money here, right? But see, but she's already trying to be one of those agents of average and try to rewire my kids' thinking to go from, hey, closed mouth goes unfed, son. The marketplace requires you to get attention. It requires you to talk, man, but you got to shut the fuck up in school, you know, because I pay to be here. But isn't that crazy? But don't I go to school to learn? Yeah, you're learning what not to do, man. So you'll see, right?
Right.
And so we have a weapon, focus. So how do you work out focus? It's not staring at something. It's not meditation. It's not no fucking The Secret where you're like, oh, just speak it into life. It's not that. Okay. We're going to actually give you, we're going to give you mental exercises. I'm going to give you mental exercises, and I'm going to score you on the shit if you decided to take me up on this, that you can do every day that are super quick, super easy, but it keeps you in line. It keeps you accountable. So there's 4 areas of life that you got to focus on every day. You got to focus on winning in each of these areas, at least one place in each one of these areas every day. Okay. So the first thing is to have a grateful mindset. Okay. Because gratitude is the precursor to abundance, right? You're never going to have an abundant life if you're not grateful for what you have. So every day I teach people, as soon as you wake up, before you check your phone, before you do anything, write down 5 things you're grateful for. You can do that in the G Code app, and it's absolutely free. There's no upsells. It's not in the app store. You have to go to gcodechallenge.com, and you can get all the information there, right? gcodechallenge.com. The second thing you got to focus on every day is your genetics. That's your diet and your fitness, right? Like maybe you're a person that's a little fat right now, right? It's okay, fatty. I'm gonna help you out, right? Maybe you're a person a little overweight. Hey, instead of eating 5 slices of pizza, have 4. You know, hey, instead of ordering a large fry, have a medium. Let me tell you what, if you cut out 300 calories from your diet a day, that's like a handful of French fries, by the way. If you just cut out 300 calories a day, it's the equivalent of 163 hours on a treadmill at 5 miles per hour.
Wow.
So I'm not going to tell you, hey, fatty, you can't eat food no more. It's like, hey, man, why don't you just eat 4 pieces instead of 5? Why don't you eat a single beef patty hamburger instead of the triple beef patty hamburger? Why don't you order a Coke Zero instead of a Coke, right? These little small shifts, man, can go a long way. Hey, so why don't you get up twice a day and walk around the building, right? Just make a quick lap. They are not going to know if you smoke a cigarette to the bathroom. Smokers do it. Get up and go make a quick lap around the building, around the parking lot, right? Take a phone call outside. Right? Do something to help. You don't have to be an extremist like me where you go in the gym and torture yourself, but that doesn't hurt either. You know, at 41 years old, I don't look a day over 39 3/4, you know? So
Absolutely.
The other thing is your grind. That's your job, right? You got to focus on, if we're going to produce fruit, which is money, we got to work. Okay. Whether you're digging holes or working at McDonald's or you own a business, it doesn't matter, right? That's what we do. We put our time in and we're planning, right? We're planning with our time. In the beginning, we work, we put our time in, we get paid for it. In the end, if we plan it enough, we put our time in, we get our money in and we start getting our time back. All right. But when you get to work, most people don't know what to do, right? Especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're like, how do I stay focused at work? I'm going to help you with that here in a second. The fourth thing is the group of people that you surround yourself with, which I think is the most important part because, you know, people are a projection on you to be a reflection on them. And the reality in my mind is that if you hang out with the right people, the right shit happens. I know when I've hung out with the wrong people, and everybody can attest this, hung out with the wrong people, wrong shit happened, right? So why isn't the opposite true? If the force of average is like for every equal and opposite action, for every action, there's equal and opposite reaction. Why wouldn't it be the same? You hang out with the wrong people and you rob a bank, you get caught, right? You hang out with the right people, you figure out how to buy a bank and you get rich.
Yep, totally.
Right? And guess what? It's just as easy to be friends with the right people as it is the wrong. It's probably a lot fucking easier because they're not trying to stab you in the back. But you got to be the right person for them too.
Yeah.
So I created this app that is for free. There's like no credit card, no sign up, no gimmicks, no upsells. I'm one of the things when I started doing pretty decent financially, I just found ways that I could invest my money to give back to people. You know, I truly want to help people. I wish that, you know, they asked me plenty of times, if you could trade places with anybody in the world, who would it be? Nobody. I'm happy here in Ryan. That's what I'm cool with that, man. I love my life.
It's awesome.
And I want more people to feel that way, right? So that's why I came up with the G code and all this stuff. So this app is absolutely free. And when you open the app, you write 5 things down inside the app and you get a point. Okay. You wake up first thing in the morning, put your 5 things you're grateful for. You get a point. You check off that you stuck to your diet and that you went to the gym. You get another point. That's 2 points. You write down where you won for the day. Okay. Where'd you win at work? How much money did you make? How many sales did you make? What did you do today that you won? Right. And then it says, who did you focus your time on? So that group of people, did you focus your time on your kids, on your wife? And then it says, hey, what's the lesson that you learned today? And so you fill that out every day. And here's what happens. It starts to make you focus on winning because you're going to have to tell the app that you won somewhere. Guess what? We focus on, you're welcome. All right. The second thing is it starts telling you, hey, who did you focus your time on today? Hey, you're somebody that you got to focus your time on if you're going to be accountable to yourself and get that point in the app, right? So who'd you focus your time on? Guess what that causes you to do? It causes you to be a better friend, husband, wife, father, mother. Here's the other part. It requires you to check off that you went to the gym and stuck to some sort of diet. Again, maybe you just ate a half a hamburger instead of a whole one. It's not full keto or whatever. If you want to do that, that's awesome too. Yeah. But man, every day, those 4 things add up to 4 points. You can get 100 points in 25 days if you don't skip a day. You can create a habit in 21 days, lock it in for 90 days. If you'll get 300 points on my app, your life will change. It's the 300 point where the focus muscle kicks in and starts getting strong again. It's the 300 point range when that starts to happen. But I want to get you to 100 as quick as possible in those 25 days so that we lock in a habit, because we're already starting to strengthen that muscle. You'll start to see your quote unquote jump shot improve. You'll start to see your bench press go up because we're making that muscle stronger.
Absolutely. And it's funny that I mean, it's not funny, but you're so right. I've been doing the GCO for 2 years with you. And, when you said you don't have to fucking start a diet, like extreme diet, you can just cut half of the burger and that's it. And that's actually how I quit smoking, because when I started the GCO, that's when I was trying to quit smoking after 15 years of my life smoking. And I just started 1 cigarette a day, and then when I got used to that, I cut it down another one until I went down to like 2 or 3, and then just quit cold turkey. And the same thing happens with my gym, like I was working out already. I wasn't that strong. Today, I'm also work twice a day. I go to CrossFit and I do Krav Maga at night. So I'm fucking sore all the time, but I feel great and I'm stronger. Yeah.
But you know what I think the benefit to that is, just a side note, is you and I know the difference between being sore and being hurt or sick. And a lot of people don't know that pain. They think, oh, I got back pain. Now, bitch, you're sore because all you do is sit in a chair and sleep. That's why you have back pain. You're sore. You're sore because your body's telling you it needs to be stretched out, it needs to be popped out, it needs to be worked, it needs to be strengthened, Yeah. And people don't differentiate that. And they go to the doctor and they look for help and help and help again. But you and I know the difference between, the reason why my back hurts is because I did deadlifts yesterday. That's the deadlift pain. I felt this many times in my life,
Yeah, absolutely, man. But I think that's where people get confused too. They think that they have to go all in and get an extreme diet and work out like if they're professionals already doing all that crazy stuff, when in reality you don't. And they have to
improve a little bit every day. That's it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit every day. Like, if you could do 2 push-ups today, man, maybe try 3 tomorrow. Right? It doesn't have to be, hey, go do 30 all of a sudden. Hey, go do 3 tomorrow. If you can walk a quarter mile today, maybe walk a third of a mile tomorrow. It's just a little improvement. And then maybe a half a mile the next day after that, just a little improvement. And guess what? As you make these small improvements, your body will be able to withstand them too. And you'll look back and be like, damn, dude, I'm fucking running 3 miles now. I couldn't even fucking walk a quarter mile in the beginning, right? It'll change the game for you.
That's reminded me of the last week Kayla did her first push-up. Sorry, I'm saying this publicly, but it was hilarious because she's getting stronger. She was the type of woman that like to go to like Zumba classes and all that stuff, but now she's loving CrossFit, and she's getting like super strong. And then for her, 1 push-up, her first push-up was incredible for her. Now she's excited to keep pushing more and more and more and getting stronger. So one step at a time, but you have to fall in love with the process and know that it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight, And
you don't even got to fall in love with it. You just got to do it. You just got to follow it. You don't have to fall in love with it. You just got to follow it. So,
but it makes a difference when you fall in love with it. Like I used to be the kind of person that I used to avoid getting in troubles or failure and all that shit until I understood you're never going to avoid this shit. So you better fall in love with this, and
at least get used to it.
I get used to it. Yeah. But actually now I love the struggle. I've been through the struggle and I love it now. When I see myself or the force of avarice trying to throw more struggle to our lives, it's like, bring it on, motherfucker, because I'm ready for this bullshit,
Yep.
So, but like you said, it's important to improve yourself at least 1 step at a time, but also your network, man. I mean, that's the thing that I can assure you guys that that's one of the most important things that have helped me, my family, and be where I am. Or like you said at the beginning of the show, get to 36 episodes when the average motherfucker just do 4, It's because of my group. That's the reason why I'm here at this point with this podcast too. So thank you.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for having me on, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think thank you for sharing all the G-Code stuff. I'm hoping this can help people right now, especially that we're in that season again, man. It's crazy that we're right now to finish another year. People start thinking about new goals and what's going to happen in 2021 and all that kind of stuff. So I think it was the perfect time to bring this information so people can make a smart decision, stay in the same place, or just do something for yourself and become better, or even join us on our journey to become the most elite version of ourselves, right?
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
So you guys go out there, get the app, gcodechallenge.com, And Pedro, thanks for having me on, man.
Thanks, brother. And for you guys listening, if you enjoy the show, make sure to share it with somebody or put it on social media, whatever you can do to help us spread the word. And also make sure you leave us a review on iTunes or subscribe to the YouTube channel so more people can find the show and get access to all this valuable information. I will see you guys for the next episode. In the meantime, be safe, keep working hard, and cheers. Later. Hey guys, thank you for watching. This show was brought to you by the Marketing Brewing Company, an industry-leading marketing provider and coaching firm. If this episode has provided with valuable information for you and your business, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you know somebody who needs to hear this, share it with them. Send me a text message, a DM, put it on social media, whatever you can do to spread the word. And lastly, if you're a brewery owner ready to take your business to the next level, make sure you head to marketingbrewingco.com and fill out the form to get started and get your free assessment of your current marketing and sales strategies. I will see you guys for the next episode. In the meantime, cheers.